So thank you very
Mhm.
much for doing this with me. Where and when were you born?
So I was born in Nainital district in Haldwani on 21st October 2007.
So 21st means that you're right on the border between Libra and Scorpio, but you're more.
Yeah,
Are you more a Scorpio or a Libra?
and I'm a Libra.
Mm. And is that characteristic of you that you like balance and justice?
hmm Maybe I don't know, but yeah, I like balance and justice.
It's the scales of justice. What are words that you would use to describe yourself for someone who doesn't know you?
Um, uh, I'm optimistic. I am responsible, and I'm curious.
Okay. Um, then, do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have one younger brother.
And is he involved with the climate movement as well?
Yes, he likes working with me, so but he is a shy person, so he doesn't like cameras. But yes, really, he likes striking with me, making posters and making slogans. So yeah, he is a person who wants to be an activist.
Mm, you've trained him well. Where are you in school now? What grade level?
I'm in ninth grade, so I have came to ninth grade this year.
And when do you have the big boards that you have to take to prepare for university?
It's like big boards. It's like we have two board exams. So in 10th grade and in 12th grade. So the university one is at 12th grade.
And what is the seventh grade one? That determines if you go to an academic high school or not.
No, it's not there in India.
What's it for? The seventh grade boards.
So it's like seventh grade boards are. So here we don't have seventh grade boards. So we have eighth grade boards. So they are like kind of just to give us how board exams are like, and just to give us an idea that how questions comes and how the question paper is like, and whether we are doing enough to face the board exams, and whether we are capable of facing the 10th exam boards, and whether we are like studying in a right way. So it's kind of stuff like that, but our main board exams is in 10th and 12th grade.
Got it. Um, there's a problem that in India that people who don't have a lot of money may not be able to afford to go to a high school. So, what do you see when you travel in terms of access to high school for poor children?
um I guess it's like everyone has a right for studies, and it's like they're like even if like the poor children's their parents manage to send them to school, so they're not able to send them to a good school, to a big school, like a school which is having every facilities like we are going in. So it's like even if we talk about the government schools, they are not very much good for like studies, and for if a like poor child want to become a big person in life and want to achieve success. But so for is this, I think that big schools have big fee, more fees, and have so many other things. So it's like it's important for everyone to get education, I guess. So there should be like some kind of guidelines or some kind of help for the poor so that they can even study with us.
Right. So, do you go to a government school or a private school?
I go in a private school.
Mm-hmm. And in the government schools that I visited when I was in India,
Mm-hmm.
the classes were very large. Sometimes the teachers didn't come. They just
Mm-hmm.
didn't come. And when I visited, uh, the classroom didn't have a teacher in it, so the kids were just sitting around the desk and talking. So I'm wondering if, as a reformer, if that's something on your radar to make sure that even kids without money have access to good education.
It's like, yes, this is what happens usually in India. It's like most of the times, even if a teacher comes in the class, so they really didn't teach like as they should. So they just come in the class for the formality that yes, they came, and they just say that students to open their books and read the chapter, and like everyone is like the children are busy in talking and some are playing and all that stuff. So it's like having good teachers who are responsible is also a key point for a successful life. So yes, like they, because most of the poor children go to government school, so it's like so government schools should have teachers who are really responsible and who want the children to get successful and who really want to teach.
Yeah. I visited a government school in New Delhi, and I have pictures of it on one of my pages because there were holes in the roof so the rain could come down, and there were, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, just a few computers for the whole school. So the things that kids take for granted now of having access to computers and the internet, those kids who came from the slums didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
how did you get interested in climate activism? You started when you were 9, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
So I got interested. Yeah.
what made you think I'm 9 years old? I've got to do something. It was the floods.
Yeah, it was the floods. So in 2013, when I was 5, at that time, a big devastating flash flood occurred in my home state, Uttarakhand. So at that time, I really didn't know. That was the first time when I heard about word global warming. Before I even didn't know that what global warming is. So I was really confused at that time that what global warming is. So I started asking questions to my parents, and some of my parents friends are like lawyers who are right now my lawyers of my petition at Supreme Court against the government of India. So it's like a one so it's like one of them, he really like came to visit Haridwar. So at that time, me and my so I was small, so I really loved animals, and I hate people who like make them captured and torture them. So he just was making a video, and he just said that your father used to keep the elephant tied in a chain, and he used to beat him, and he didn't even give food to him. So at that time, I was scolding my father very badly, because why did you beat elephant? If you will beat him, I'll beat you. And at that time, he really got interested. And at that time, I also asked questions to him as well about climate change and global warming. So it's like my parents and my lawyers made me understand what climate change and global warming is really. And apart from that, at that time as well, my lawyer made me understand about child rights and how they are being violated, and who is responsible for all this, and how what can I do, because I really wanted to do something to protect my rights, the children's right, and my future. Because when I came to know about climate change and global warming, I also came to know that it is going to have a very bad impact on my future as well. So I really wanted to breathe freely in my future. I don't want to get a face mask on my face and oxygen cylinder on my back while I'm going to my work, or I don't want my children's or my grandchildren's to be in a place where like air conditioners and air purifiers and oxygen cylinders will be the most important thing for you to live. And it's like, I guess maybe it's not possible, but it's if like if when I was kid I thought that, because I came to hear that the government and many people are cutting forest very fastly, and the forests are decreasing. So at that time I once had a thought, and I also had a bad dream that I was like very old and I was with my kids going to a museum to see a tree. So I don't want all these things to get happen. So I really wanted to take some action. And when I came to know that it is because of inaction of government, because government is not doing their part correctly, and people are not really afraid of governments, they are not really following the rules, they're just making money, making their life luxurious, and not even thinking about the children future ones. So at that time I just got to think that enough is enough. Why they are playing with our future? This is our future, and we should get the right to make our future bright. And the children are the only one who are going to face the consequences in our coming life. So we have to raise our voice because no one else was doing it. So I just at that time I asked my father that I really want to do something. Just suggest me whatever I can do. So at that time, he talked to his lawyer friends that she really want to do something. What she should do, and what are the things, because so they just like said that she can do a petition at National Green Tribunal. And I was like, yes, I will do a petition. I will hold the government, and I guess that I was very hopeful at that time that yes, if I do the petition, the court will make the government to do the things properly, and after that the government will do everything correctly and everything will go all right, and I'll save my future. So at that time I really wanted to do the petition, but the outcomes were really very different. But when I came to know that my future is in stake, at that time I was like, yes, I want to do something.
um, to go back to the elephant story, who owned the elephant?
So it's like no one really owned the elephant. So he was just he was just joking with me that your father used to like keep the animal in captivity, like the elephant, because here it's like the elephant who got like some baby elephants who just like got away from his or her mother, or like sometimes he just like got caught it by something or attacked by something, or he just left his group. So at that time like the wild like the national park, so they own the elephants, so they like take care, they take the care of them, and they give food to them, they train them, and people can go there, like sometimes people can go there to see them. So at that time he just said that your father is also doing the same thing and he beats them. So at that time I was angry on him.
But it was a joke. He did. Your father wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Just as a footnote, the first time I was in India, I met a man who said when he was growing up, his babysitter, his nanny, was an elephant. And the elephant loved children because they had been very kind. So they could play by the river and the elephant would watch out for them. So I thought that was a wonderful story.
Yeah, that was, but yeah.
Okay, so when you were 5, you got aware of global warming, and then when you were 9, you filed a suit against the Indian government.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
Okay, and then they turned it down because they said, "Oh no, we're already doing it," or what's the outcome of that suit?
So when I did the petition after 1.5 year, it's like the National Green Tribunal just dismissed my petition by saying that there is no need to give any direction to the government because they're doing everything right, and according to them, there is no need to give any direction to the government. because like when the hearings were going on, the government was showing the data, but it's like if we say about India, it's like the government do a lot of work on paper and very less work on ground. So that was they did. They showed them the papers that we are doing everything correctly and the government work is going superb, and they it's like why they're like doing the petition. So they said that the government is doing everything right, and this petition is of no need, so they dismissed the petition. But we were not satisfied with the decision, so we took that to the highest court of the India, that is the Supreme Court. But it is still pending there. My lawyers and I am working to clear the doubts, or some we are doing some correction work on it, so it's still pending.
I mean, you can just walk in any big city in India and know that the smog is worse than even Beijing. I think India's replaced China as the most polluted, right? So it's not a very sophisticated evidence that's required. You just walk down the street. How did they dismiss that?
It's like I don't know, but it's like it was my petition was basically having all scientific evidences, proofs, and what are the consequences even. But they was like they have to give the decision, so they just gave it. And like why they did it was like we got the description that the government, according to them, the government is doing everything correct, so there is no need to give any direction to the government. So that what like they said, but I didn't think that it is true because yes, as you are not a citizen of India and you know the condition of India, how much worse it is. So that's why I was not really satisfied with their decision. So I took that to the Supreme Court, and we are hoping that we'll get justice this time, but no one knows what's gonna happen.
Under the Modi government, what's Modi's policy about climate change? I think he at least acknowledges that it's a problem. Is that correct?
It's like um, I guess it's like I will not comment on him, but if I talk about the government, it's like they banned single-use plastic. But if you come to Haridwar and you'll see, like if you'll go to the bank, the river bank of Ganga, you'll see like many people selling single-use plastics, the containers to fill water bottle. The people there are selling polythene, like the plastic sheets for people to sit down there, and many people even come there having a plastic polythenes with them to like, and many people it's like a Swachh Ganga Abhiyan, it's like Namami Gange Abhiyan, so it's a project for clean Ganga. It's been going on since a very long time, but what happened was like the deadline of that project was 2019, but it has been extended till this year, and they spend 20 approximately 20 crores on that project, which is a huge amount of money. But still what is happening, it's like the plastic vendors is selling plastic, people are throwing their waste there, their old clothes, and people are using the riverbank for sanitation, and many people are even washing their clothes at the riverbank. So nothing is really happening because I have personally seen it. If we say about his another work, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, so it's basically a Clean India project. So I didn't say that it's not going on. So it's like most in places people are doing the work, but it is not going on as it should be, because if like in many places, even in like places near my home, it's like there is like huge amount of waste, and even like the dustbins of like the dustbins allotted by the government, so they have put it a huge dustbin at the place, and they have to take the garbage regularly, but they are not doing the things properly, so that garbage is like littered at the place for like weeks, but they really don't take it properly. So it's like he says that he is very much like curious and he is very much giving importance to these issues, but I really don't think so.
Mm. Traditionally, Hindus ideally would love to be cremated and their ashes go into Ganga. Um, do you consider that polluting as well for the when the funeral pyre goes into the river?
It's like yeah, it's like many people treat Ganga as the goddess, but I don't think like because if there is our god, so I'll not never offer my god my like household waste. I will not put chemical waste on like into the god. I will not litter my waste at the place of God. So it's like at the same time they are saying that it is God. Huge events I held to pray Ganga, and even like every evening and like every day in the morning they used to pray Ganga. They used to do aarti and they would offer flowers and pray her to bless us. But how is the God is gonna bless you if you are putting all your waste into it, and if you are not even thinking about once before putting your waste, your chemicals into it, because it is really affecting the marine life there. It is really like affecting each and everything, and even like most of the people like drink the water of Ganga directly, and it contains chemicals, it contains sewage waste, it contains our household waste,
Yeah.
plastic waste,
Yeah.
like everything, and we are just like drinking it. So it's basically it's the worst thing I've ever seen, but still everyone says it's our goddess, but I really didn't understand the concept.
Right. When your lawyers are doing all this work, I understand that you founded a foundation. Does that help pay for their expenses, or how are those lawyers' work paid for?
So it's like for me, it's like they really didn't take pay or any expenses from me, but they take some of like some fundings from some of the NGOs working like in the foreign, but really they never took like payment from me, because they just like thought that yes, if child really wants to do something on her own, so they supported me, so they never took like payment from me.
I read that you started an NGO or a foundation. Is that true?
Yeah, I registered. So my father registered an organization, but it's still in a sleeping mode. It's like we are still working on a like we are still making the teams and thinking the plans. So we are like working on it. We are making the projects, but it's still in sleeping mode yet.
Mm. And what will it be called? What will its name be? Do you know?
So yeah, my dad gave a name to his NGO. So Environment Conservation Trust. So that's the name. So it will basically working on like conservation of environment, making children aware about importance of environment and taking action, and hosting events for children. Basically, it will give an exposure to the children who really want to work on climate change and who really want to work on environment, and it will also be working on awareness.
Mm-hmm. Um, did you get your parents involved, or did they get you involved? Because they both work with the environment. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And what kind of
So
work?
So it's like my dad works in an NGO, National like Wildlife Trust of India, and my mom is a government official. So she works in a forest department. So my dad works on wildlife conservation, and my mom works to protect the forest.
Uh-huh. Speaking of marriage, traditionally families arranged marriages, but recently young people are doing, quote, love marriages that aren't arranged. What's your observation in terms of young people arranged marriages or love marriages? Is it changing, or how is it, and how would you like it to be for you?
Uh, I don't know for me,
I mean, in the
but
future.
it's like it's like it's their decision. So it's like whether it will be arranged or love, it's like it's totally upon them. It's their life, so they really can take the decision. But like their parents should get agree with this, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes people who marry a different caste, their parents don't like it at all. And I've
Mm-hmm.
heard of people who marry out of caste and their parents won't talk to them. So sometimes that can be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes, but yeah, the caste shouldn't matter because it's just a caste. It's like the person whom I would love or you love should be a good person, and that's all. It's like really didn't believe in caste and in religion. It's just like a name given to like person, a group of persons. It really shouldn't matter to anyone.
mhm. But of course, it still does. Like for Harijan
Mm-hmm.
and people who are outcast, lower caste, and
Yes,
everybody
yes.
knows your caste by your last name. Is that right? You
Yeah,
just know.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting. Um, have you been following the children's suit in the U.S. against the U.S. government, which is a similar suit that where they're trying to hold government responsible for protecting the environment?
So I was part of a petition that was against the 5 countries, not on US. So that was basically on rights of child. So we holded 5 countries, and so that was basically that those countries were doing a lot of emissions, and that's why the rights of children were being violated. So total 16 children did that petition, and I was one of them.
And that was to the United Nations.
Yeah, it's to the United Nations.
And you went to New York as part of that petition. What was that like? And what reaction did you get?
So it's like yes, it was my first time at New York, so I was really very excited to be a part of that petition, and I was really excited to meet so many children like who are working on the same field, and it was like I was getting a chance to meet Greta as well. So yeah, I was like on top of the world. But it was really, if I say, it was really a knowledgeable trip for me because I came to learn a lot about like the other children's what kind of problems they are facing in their countries about climate change, and what kind of difficulties they're facing, how their governments are supporting them, and what are the works they're doing, and are the things like similar or different. And I also joined the strike at New York, so it was my first strike, like a Fridays for Future, and there was so many people I've seen. Like first time I've seen so many people gathered for like protesting for like there was gathered basically against like for issue climate change, and I saw that much gathering like first time in my life because in India I haven't seen that much people till yet. I haven't seen that much people gathered for such a critical issue.
Mm-hmm. And when you presented the petition to the UN, were you able to speak, or what kind of interaction did you have with UN officials?
So we were at the so we were at the UNICEF headquarters. So basically, our lawyers went to the United Nations and filed the petition, but we got like exposures from media, and we like had a press conference at the at the UNICEF headquarters, which was like very close to United Nations. So I really didn't went inside United Nations building. So I was out there for an live interview with the BBC. But all the activities which like we all did was at the UNICEF headquarters, basically.
And who coordinated that to have 16 people do the paperwork, do the travel arrangements, raise the money? How was that all coordinated?
So there was law firms and NGOs been working. So there was like Hospital and Earth Justice and Hires to Our Ocean, and so like some of the organizations and the law firms get in together, and they finded youth from all over the world, and they like contributed or they raised the fundings for all the children to come up together to file the lawsuit.
And how did they contact you? Did you contact them or they contacted you?
No, so they contacted me. So they contacted my lawyer, and after that, they got my phone number, and we had a telephonic, like we had a Skype discussion. And after that, they said that they want me to be a part of that petition. So they basically contacted me on the basis of my interviews of 2017 when I did my first petition.
Mm-hmm. Um, so in terms of the response from UNICEF or the UN, did you get any response, or did they just say, pat, 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 hello, children, here's the press, and now go away?
No, so it wasn't like that. So if I say like the persons at the UNICEF headquarters, because UNICEF is basically working with childrens, so they were super friendly, and they like we played lots of games first of all to get interacted with each other, and after that they just said that like say whatever you want, tell your story and tell us if you don't want to answer any questions. So it's like they said that you are the boss, and say whatever you want. If you don't want to answer any question, just say no. No one is gonna say you anything, just be yourself. So it was kind of we got moral support, and we like they really helped us a lot.
Mm-hmm. And was there any kind of, okay, we're going to take some action, we're going to do this or that?
So yeah, we was like the first meeting which we have like all the 16 children's and our lawyers, our counselors. So we had we every time just like when we meet, so it's we like made our posters for the strike at UNICEF as well, and we talked about a lot of stuff happening all around. So it's like everyone was there and everyone was talking about their country, that what is happening at their country and how they're fighting and why is it important for them to take action. And after that we just said that we are here to take action and we'll take it, and afterwards when we'll go back to our countries we'll continue doing the same work.
Mm. And have you been able to stay in touch with the group of 16? Do you chat online?
Yeah, so we all have we all exchanged our Instagram IDs, and we are connected. So it's like most of us are really working on like same projects. So it's like on like most of us are in the same group which is working for a particular project, and we are still like we have our own WhatsApp group in which our counselors are there, some of the UNICEF peoples are there, and most of every 16, like most of 16s are there.
Mm-hmm. As you heard their stories or learn about what other countries are doing, have you found countries that are models that are really making a difference to tackle global warming and climate change? Is there any country that you can say, I can learn from them?
I think that maybe because not from like when we got the discussion, it's like I saw in the like in news that Norway just banned deforestation completely in their country. So that is a big thing which they did. So we should learn something from them. And otherwise, it was like every children was like, we are fighting, but we are not getting that much support from the government and from the officials, and they really didn't work that much on this thing. So it's like every country is having a kind of same situations.
Mm, boy, that's discouraging. Um, and when you think about youth activism, it seems to me that it's a really new phenomena that someone 5 or 9 like you becomes an activist. What do you think there is about your generation Z that enables you to be activists in such a, I would say, unique and new way?
I guess that it's like most of the children say that we are basically working for our future. So it's like all the activists, like the youth activists, so they really got to understand that it is important for us to take action, because according to me, why I became an activist was because no one was really doing their jobs properly, and the older generation was just destroying the things, just destroying like the resources, not doing anything properly, and that was really going to affect my future and the future of the coming generations. It's like my generation has really recognized that it is really important to take action on climate change, because it's like everyone knows about like the virus, coronavirus. So it's like it's a virus. So it's like there is a virus which will not have an antidote or any vaccine. We haven't found it yet, but yes, we'll found it. So lots of scientists and doctors have been working on it. So we'll find the vaccines somewhere in 1 year, 2 year. So it's like we all are facing such a difficulty due to a small virus, and we don't have any antidote for climate change. We don't have any vaccine or any kind of solution for climate change. It's just stop doing destruction is the key to get tackled with climate change, and this is what we are not doing. So I can't imagine, it's like I can't imagine India what we'll be doing if the things will get out of our hands, because we are so much tense about the virus that so many people are dying. We are not getting the vaccine, we are not getting proper medicines, and it is so dangerous. But climate change is much more dangerous than that, and we doesn't recognize it yet, but we'll not have any vaccine, any medicine for that. It's just we have to face it because this is what we have done. So it's like it is very important to take action, and that this is what the youth has been recognized, and they are basically fighting for their life and the coming generations' life, I guess.
Hmm. In India, the shortage of water and drought caused by climate
Mm-hmm.
change is a huge factor for farmers and other people, and the glaciers melting and drying up the sources of pure water. So I mean, it's happening
Mm-hmm.
now. It's not a future problem. It's a present problem. So the government has
Mm-hmm.
to recognize it at some point, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is, because it's like in India, it's like most many people they have farming as their livelihood, and what happens is like when there is a drought and when they didn't got like when it doesn't rain properly, sometimes it's like it never rains, and sometimes what happens is like rains, like it is much heavy rain that everything got spoiled. So it's like most of the farmers, their family commit suicide, and most of them just like suffer so much for their life because they don't have money. They don't, because they didn't cultivated the food properly, because they didn't got the appropriate climate, appropriate things for their production. And it's like in many places the water is so dirty that if I will see the water, I will not even think of it to take it on my hand or to put my hand inside. And many of the people are drinking water which is having so much chemicals and which is causing cancer, which is causing so many diseases, diarrhea, jaundice, and many people are dying because of it. But it is like they don't have any other option. That's why they have to drink it to be alive. But it is really affecting their body from inside. But like till now, people are not really recognizing that yes, this is a problem and it is caused because of climate change, and we really have to take action. Neither the government is really like willing to take action, and the things are getting worse and worse, if I say, in India, and nobody's really very much want to take action. And but like there are some kids, like I am trying to make a difference, I am trying to make children's and people aware. There are like a lot other children's who have been trying their best to do, like they're planting trees. Most of them are working to conserve the water resources at their places, to do petitions. They're doing strikes. We are doing whatever we can do on our basis, even though we don't have that much resources. But the government, the older generation, they have they have power in their hand. They are old enough to understand that what they are doing, but still they are behaving like a children's. I don't know why they are doing it, but yes, it is going to be very destructive for us.
An issue of power that young people have is the vote. But I know that
Mm-hmm.
that the political parties tried hard to get out the youth vote in the last election, and
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult. And it's in the U.S. Bernie Sanders was counting on the youth vote, but they didn't turn out to vote. So I'm wondering what you're hearing about efforts to get. Is it? Do you have to be 18 to vote in India?
Yeah, it's like you have to be 18 to vote.
And are you hearing about efforts to get youth to register to vote and to get out and vote?
So it's like here, the freshers, like the youth who just got 18 and get right to vote, they really don't know that why should we vote and what basis they should vote. This is like their parents support BJP, or their parents support Congress. So it's like his or her father said that this is what, like, this political leader is my admirer, just vote for him. And they just do it without even thinking. It's their word, and this is their decision, and it is very important. Their one vote is going to change the whole thing. Their one vote can change the whole thing. But seriously, they really, like, no one really told them that how to vote. So it's like it is a big issue here, I guess, because they really don't know what to do, and they just vote on a political leader whom they think is good, or whom their family has been voting from years. So this has been a kind of problem in India.
Just so viewers know, Congress has been in power for most of India's independence, but now BJP is Modi's Hindu nationalist party that's in power and has done well in the
Mhm.
elections. Do you think that parenting styles have changed in a way that allow youth to be activists? I mean, it seems like there's a trend away from being children should be seen and not heard, really authoritarian parenting, to more we'll decide on this together. I don't know. Do you think parenting is part of the reason why young people are being active or not?
It's like maybe because yes, my like parents really support me a lot. So it's like even if I want to do a petition, or even if I want to go somewhere to attend an event, so they're really supportive. But at the same time, there are like so many kids who just like DM me on Instagram that I want to be an activist like you. I want to go out and strike. I want to raise my voice. But what happens? It's like every time my parents just say me that sit on home, study, and do things what we allow. This is not the thing what you should do. So they really don't want their parents to be against. So they really don't want their kids to be an activist. So they really don't want them to be against the government. They want them to be at home studying, scoring good in academics, and doing things at home, but not really showing the government and working on it. So they want them to make their good future. They don't want them to get messed up with governments. And that's why it's like most of the children are not able to become an activist.
Yeah. Um, in the activists that you know in India and the 16 who filed a petition to UNICEF, what percentage
Mm-hmm.
roughly are girls?
Um, uh, it's like most of them are girls. So it's like even the petitioners, it's like they were boys and girls mix, but as much as I have seen, most of the activists are girls.
And why is that? Why do you think that girls are more able to speak out? What's the reason?
Um, uh, I guess because what I have seen is like it is like a natural thing which girls have is like they are more active, or they understand things more like in a good way. And I guess like girls are like a multitasker. So they just like do the things properly, or they just kind of understand the things more properly as compared to boys. I guess that's why I guess the girls are really getting the things like very seriously. They are taking the things, they are like understanding the importance of taking action more properly or more effectively than boys. That's why I guess most of the activists are girls.
Are you saying that the girls are more mature?
Yes, I guess. Yeah, because it's like it's our nature that we are more kind of we are more kind of sophisticated, and we just like want to do something. It's like that.
Hmm. It's interesting that India has a big Hindu tradition of a lot of female deities. So everywhere you go, you see Lakshmi and Durga, and in the taxi cars and temples everywhere. I wonder if that
Hmm.
is an empowering thing, that you have so many female divinity images everywhere you go.
Yes, it is like because what we see is like the ancient time. We have learned that whenever it's some hard time, or whenever anyone thinks that girls are weak or they can't do anything, they can't make a change. It's like every time a goddess, like a new form, a new like a image of goddess come in front of us and just like prove them wrong and make a difference. And basically it's like we have so many goddess who give us justice, give us like who teaches us what is good, what is not, who give us like mind, who give us knowledge, and everything. So it's like yes, it is also a part that most like from the beginning we have seen goddess, basically women's making a change.
Like Sarasvati is associated with knowledge and culture and art.
Mhm.
Do you have a goddess who you have an affinity for, that when you see her you think, oh, she's my she's my image?
Um, Maybe I really haven't think about it yet because I really didn't believe in a particular God. I just like have that yes, something is in which hears me, but I don't know what really it is. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think of yourself as a feminist?
Yes, I guess yes, because it is what is important. Because nowadays, if we say like girl is like everywhere, it's like girl empowerment is like banging out. It's like whether it is any kind of field, like being an activist. I've seen like most of the activists are girls. Most of the like so many girls are engineers. They're pilots. And like in every field, like the girls are coming out. So it's like yes, I am a feminist, and I do believe that there should be no kind of discrimination on gender because it is just a kind of difference which really tells that it is just a girl and a boy, nothing else. So we shouldn't discriminate that you are a girl, you can't go out, you can't protest, or you are a boy, you can't do household works, and you are a girl, you can't go out and do work, and you can't like wear jeans or anything. So it's I don't believe in it.
Mm-hmm. Everybody that I've talked to said, yes, I'm a feminist. Not one person has said no. And that's changed because I think it used to be young women would say, well, no, I'm not a feminist because I like men, but I believe in equality. But now people aren't afraid of the word. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's national youth climate organizations in India. Is there one or two that you look to as a national organizing youth for climate? I've forgotten the name of the organization that I came across.
So I am not really connected with any of the organizations, but I do support Friday for Future movements. But I'm not really into any kind of organizations basically working on specifically climate change or environment.
Hmm. Are you able to strike on Fridays sometime, or what is your school's approach to student striking?
So it's like in my school there is no one who really goes to like strike. So it's just me who like goes out and do strikes, and like some of my friends are there. But yeah, it's like my teachers do say that yes, you are doing a great job, but try to be in your school more because your studies are getting affected. But yeah, it's like sometime I got chance to go like to join the strikes, but sometimes it's like I have many sometimes I get like important events in my school, and sometimes it's like I have an exam or a test. So sometimes it's not I'm not able to join, but it's like I try my best to join Friday for Future strike like every time.
Hmm. Oh, I found it's called Indian Youth Climate Network, and it has over 10,000 volunteers. So that sounds
Mm-hmm.
like a strong organization.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a strong organization, but yeah, I'm not really connected with them.
What do you personally do to help the environment?
It's like I personally, I save electricity, I save water, and I also like most of the times me like my parents and my friends, their family, like most of the time we used to do carpooling where if like we are going at the same place, like we're going together, even if we are going to a park together which is like really far, so we have to take like a car. So it's like most of the time we do carpooling, and I try to use like my bicycle to go out for, like, even if me and my mom are going for shopping, sometimes we walk, sometimes we use cycles. And I also like, when my session is over, so what I do is like I take like, the notebooks of my previous session, and the pages left out in them, I just take those pages and like combine them and make a rough notebook out of it, so that I can use them further without just like even throwing the blank pages. And I also do donate my books to the poor children. And I also like try to be sustainable at, like, even in my clothing, and I just like try to use, like, carry my water bottle whenever, like, anywhere where I go. And I have stopped using plastic, so I carry my own backpack or my jute bag or my cloth bag whenever I go out. And I do recommend my friends as well to use their own cloth bag or to refuse single-use plastic, and like save electricity, save water, and be sustainable at clothing. So we like try to get sweaters or things like made out of recycled materials sometime. So it's like, yes, I try to do my best. And I like try to use even like the pens who are like wooden pens, or try to like rechange the refills of the pen, not like the whole pen's body, because it's also cause a lot of plastic pollution and plastic waste. So yeah, I try to do best as I can.
Um, I didn't see used clothing stores in India. Do you have them? Because what I do is just buy all my clothes that are secondhand stores, thrift stores, they call them. So they're not new, and that
Mm-hmm.
saves.
So, yeah, but it's like in India we don't have
Yeah,
this kind of thing.
yeah.
So it's like, you can't do is like, what you can do is like, what I do is like, most of the time what is like, I give my clothes to my cousins. So like, most of my cousins like used to wear my clothes, and sometimes I even take old clothes of my mom and my aunts, and sometimes even of my sisters. So it's like we keep like passing on our clothes, and when it's like my sister also wear it, so after that we just collect all the clothes and donate them to the poor kids. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we just try to use like old clothes, but it's not, we don't have any kind of like
Yeah,
secondhand stores in India.
I know. But the beauty of suits and saris is any size can wear them. I love suits.
Yeah.
They're so comfortable and so beautiful. Um, when you go around to schools to educate the
Mm-hmm.
students, I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people just listing facts don't work. They go, facts, facts, facts. But so how do you make the case when you're talking to schools? What works?
So what I try to do is like when I go to a school, so I personally try to tell them like what I have seen, my personal experience, and I try to interact with them. So I just ask questions to them, and they ask questions to me, and I try to make my conversation to be in a fun way so that they enjoy it. And I try to like have a conversation which is like very free. So it's like, because when I go to a school, so everybody is like, even though it's like students who are like bigger than me, so it's like my seniors, sometimes they used to say me ma'am. So it's like I try to make a casual kind of relation with the students so that we can have casual conversations. And I try to tell them my story and my personal experience in spite of telling them facts. Because you can find a fact from even from Google or from anywhere, but you'll not get the real thing. So it's like telling your personal experience and what you have witnessed. Personally, I think it's more effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many languages do you speak?
So I basically speak two languages. That is like my mother tongue, which is Hindi and English. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, when you go to schools, do they the poor kids don't speak English, right? Their instructions in Hindi or their regional dialect.
So it's like what is like in my school. It's like our like teachers like so we just like try to make it like if we are having a subject like if we are having a class of Hindi, so we try to speak. So we speak in Hindi. When we are having a class of English or any subject like or of science or SST, we try to speak in English. So whenever we just like say any wrong word or we are not able to express our thing, so at that time we can use Hindi, but it's like what our teachers prefer is to speak in English and they just like make us correct whenever we are not able to speak English properly. So they like try to make children comfortable speaking in English.
What are you doing now with the pandemic? You're not going to school. You're doing your lessons online, or how is the school handling it?
So it's like every day. So we are studying. Basically, we are getting the work online. So we have a WhatsApp group. So in that group, what happens is like our class teachers and our subject teachers used to send us the PDFs of our chapters and question answers, and they also send us like audios in which they are explaining the chapter, and sometimes they even send us some YouTube videos specifically based on that chapter. So we study, basically, we are studying online right now.
Mm-hmm. And the Modi didn't give very much warning. He said, okay, starting tomorrow, no one can work except in essential work. So it led this migration of day workers traveling many, many, many miles to go back to their villages. And they don't have the money to take the train or whatever. So what are you seeing in terms of those poor people getting back to their villages? How are they getting back?
So it's like so most of the people like walked miles and miles to go to their homes, and it's like most of the people also do saw the memes on internet. So on internet, it's like people started giving memes that this is a bus which is going from this place and the government is helping the people, but they were not really doing that. So it's like a lot and lot, like thousands of people like gathered in together. They were not following social distancing. They were not taking any precautions. They just wanted to go home because they were not having money, they were not having any resource, and they were with their families. So they were saying that we don't have money, we will not get food, so how we gonna survive here. So we are going to our villages to like, so we'll do some work there or we'll live with our families, and we'll get food there. But what happened was like suddenly our prime minister said that we are going to get like do the lockdown and nobody can go out, and he just like bus services and train services and everything just got stopped. And even though if like any vehicle is moving, so they really didn't take the migrants from one place to another. So at that time they like get a huge there was a huge problem, because everywhere there was a lot of thousands of people gathered in a queue. They just wanted, it's like there were full buses, like people were hanging outside, some people were sitting on the top of the buses, just they just wanted to go home, and some were like having their kids and like going on their foot, traveling, walking miles just to like to reach their home. And they was like, we don't have water, we don't have food, we are just walking, and we are walking from 4 days, we are walking from 5 days, as since we don't know what we are going to do. So it's like it was really dangerous because it can maybe be a big problem as we say, if we say like on the transfer of coronavirus. And even at the same time, many people faced a lot of difficulties. And it's like at many places, what the field owner or the owner did, they give like some money to the people and they just said that go, and when the work will get resumed then we'll call you. So it was not it because they didn't have any resources, and they struggled the most. And it is what happened basically. It's like every time when there is a disaster, when there is an pandemic of like maybe it's a virus or anything, like poor people suffers the most.
Yeah.
So the government should think about them first, before making any decision, because it's like the government has been providing like necessary things to the people, but not in every place. Because in my society there is a person who just called the on the helpline number that he want food. He doesn't have food at his home, so he just called them. He just told what he do. He don't have money, so he don't have food at their home. So they want food, but no one really came there to help him. So it's like not really much is not everywhere the same efforts are happening. So the poor people and people living in slums, they're like the one, I guess they're the one who are suffering the most.
Oh, yeah. I read that Modi apologized and said he would give money to help those people, but has any money been given to help them uh, as they travel out of the big cities?
It's like some of the people do get the money, but not really all, because they really didn't show the data on TV that how many people have got the money and how many haven't. So it's like just what we have seen personally. It's like the people in our place, they are like some workers, like some laborers and some workers who are like stuck here. So it's like so they contacted two places, they went out to search food. So now they're getting proper like food for times. But it's like most of the people say that the food which we get is not as much as like which can make us like which can really make us get relieved from hunger. So it's like it's small amount of food is being given to the people, and it's like at most places people are like really suffering.
It's like they just get rice and dal or something like that.
So yes, it's like they get rice and some money, but not in much amount. So it's like it's less in quantity because there are like many people. So there are like many, like the most of the majority population of India has been like slums and poor peoples who are like laborers and temporary workers. So it's like there have been a lot of people who want help, and there's been a limited kind of supply they have. So they give like limited kind of stock, but like most of the peoples are doing their best, and the governments are also trying, but people are not getting enough as they should get.
So sad. The only kind of silver lining to the pandemic is pollution is way down all over the world. So it
Yes,
shows that
yes,
if it's possible to reduce climate change,
yes,
but it takes a
yes.
pandemic. um,
Yeah.
some climate activists get trolls online. They get insults. Have you faced opposition? And if so, how do you handle it? She's smiling.
um, it's like I'm smiling because this is a usual question which everyone asks me, and every time what answer I have is like every time I get trolled, every time I get bad comments and oppositions from the deniers. So it's like most of the bad comments which I have been like getting is on Facebook, on my videos, and on social media. So what people really do is like they write comments that I am Hitler, or Greta is the Hitler and we are the workers under her, or I'm not good in studies. That's why I am I'm trying to be an activist so that I can make up my future. And most of them say I'm doing it for money, I'm doing it for fame, or I'm getting to travel the world, so that's why I'm doing it. And some say it's like this is just to come in the limelight, and like some of them really just like say it in front of me that I don't believe in climate change, you are doing this stuff, it's just waste, just stop doing it, start going to your schools and start taking lessons and focus on your future. And at that time I just like give them a smile and say this is what I'm doing it for, my future only. But it's like, yeah, it's like everyone has different opinions and a different kind of stuff for trolling, but I really didn't mind them. I just like, when I read something, I just smile and say this is what they have to do,
Mm.
because it's like this is one of the important part to be an activist. And I guess this is very important for an activist to be getting trolled, because this thing makes, because as I say personally, when I see someone trolling me or giving bad comments, I just try to work more and more so that I can make a change. And at that time I can show them that this is what I did and this is what you were opposing.
Mm.
So this is what is important, so that the activists will get enthusiasm that this is what people think and I have to change their mindset, and for that I have to do work. So this
Mm.
is what I do. I just ignore their comments and I just do what I have to do.
And it kind of organizes how your activism goes, because you can see these are the points that they're making, so that gives me
Yeah.
energy to counter the points. That's interesting. Yeah, it's turning iron into gold, or however you say it. When you go to university, do you have any ideas about what you'd like to study and what profession you'd like to go into?
I would like to be an environmentalist in the future as well. So I would like, because I've been working on climate change and on environment, and this is what is based on science. So I guess I'll be studying like environmental science when I'll be in university, and I'll be environmentalist.
All right. Um, do you ever feel burned out and feel like, oh, I can't do one more interview or one more talk or one more post, or do you never burn out?
Uh, so it's like sometimes it happens. It's like sometimes it happens when it's like I have so many interviews, or I've been in a program for a long time, and after that, my father used to ask me, have you posted your post? Have you updated your Instagram?" At that time, I was like, I just want to sleep right now. I don't want to do anything. So it's like sometimes it really happens with me, but not really. As if I say for the interviews, I just like talking to like different peoples and having conversations with them, because this is what we can do to basically bring awareness.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you do for fun besides sleep?
Um, for fun, what I do is like, yes. So I love animals. So it's like I don't like creepy crawlies, so I'm scared of them. But yeah, I love animals. It's like I'm not even afraid of any kind of. It's like most of the time when I go to a stray dog, he just start barking on me. But I just used to be like, come on, come on. So I just love stray dogs. So they're like four or five street dogs at my home. So it's like they are kind of my pet dogs, because like every time if anyone is going in front, like from front of my house, and if anyone like just sees my house, they start barking and they play with me, and every time they are sitting outside my home, and they're like super super cute, and I just love playing with animals. So this is what my fun activity is like. You can give me like any animal. It's like you can give me hundred of animals. Like I can keep every single animal. I
Oh,
just love animals.
and you're a dancer as well.
How do you know that?
I read that you like dancing and reading.
Oh, I just thought that someone have caught me dancing. It's like I am. Yes, I have because when I was a kid, I used to like go to dance class. So yes, I am a dancer. Yes, yes, I am a dancer.
Traditional Indian dance, or what kind of dance?
It's like I do freestyle and I do Kathak, so it's in a classical dance form.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Are you an optimist, or you started off by saying that you were, but are you optimistic or pessimistic that we'll be able to turn this around and keep from going over 1.5 Celsius?
I am an optimistic because nothing is impossible. So it's like just having a hope is like sometimes just having a hopes really work. So it's like yes, I always have a hope in my mind that yes, I can bring a change because till now if we say it's like it's a thought in Hindi. It's like jab jago tab savera. It's like this is like there is never late, so it's like when you start working is the beginning. So it's like just like we still got the things in our hand, we can still like change the things, we can still we can still get the things in our hand, and we can still like make it down, we can still make our emissions down. So it's like yes, having a hope is really important.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about how to be an effective activist, how to educate and change people's mindsets that we haven't talked about?
So it's like I want to say that to every activist or to anyone who just want to bring a change, it's like just believe in yourself and just try not to convince a person. Try to make them feel that how important is the thing that you are talking about. Just make them feel that yes, it is very important, and at that time you'll be able to change their mindset and you'll be able to really make a big change.
Are there any books or films that influenced you in your understanding of climate change, or was it mostly you were educated with social media?
It's like mostly I got educated with social media, but I do read some books on climate change. So I read The Great Derangement. So this is a book by Amitav Ghosh. He is an author. So that book really consists of many stories and history of climate crisis and what is the politics has been done on climate crisis. So this is that book is really basically very encouraging. I've been reading it since January, and it's really kind of interesting book for me.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait. I'm turning. Let me turn off the recorder.